something shocking is coming to Heartland. Something no one saw coming. Episode 7 of Season 19 isn't just another emotional chapter in Amy Fleming's journey. It's the moment everything changes. Love will be tested, loyalties will break, and secrets buried deep beneath Heartland's calm surface will finally rise. For years, fans believed they knew where Amy's heart truly belonged, but Episode 7 will turn that belief upside down. The trailer may look peaceful, full of wide skies and familiar smiles, but behind every frame lies tension, heartbreak, and a choice that could redefine Heartland forever. Episode 7 begins with the kind of peace that never lasts long in Heartland. The sun rises over the ranch, painting the fields gold, but there's something uneasy about the silence. Amy seems focused, almost distant, as if she's preparing herself for something she can't yet name. Nathan, on the other hand, has been avoiding her. Not completely, but enough that she feels it. Their relationship, once filled with hope, now feels uncertain, like a rope stretched too tight. After the chaos of Episode 6, Amy hoped things would settle down. But as everyone around her begins to move on, she realizes that peace often hides the loudest storms. Jack notices it first, the way Amy stares into the distance, lost in thought. He reminds her that the land teaches patience, but Amy isn't sure she has any left. Nathan's sister, Gracie, continues to haunt their lives like an invisible storm cloud, even when she's not around. Her influence lingers, in business deals, in whispers around town, in Nathan's worried silence. Then comes the trailer's first big moment. Amy receives a mysterious phone call. The voice on the other end doesn't introduce themselves. They only say one thing: "You don't really know Nathan." That single sentence sends Amy spiraling. What could that mean? Has Nathan been hiding something? Or is this another one of Gracie's twisted games? The trailer cuts just as Amy drops the phone, her face pale with confusion and fear. Fans who watched the trailer froze at that moment, replaying it again and again, searching for clues in her expression. Meanwhile, Lou has her own storm to face. As she prepares to leave for a new project, her heart grows heavy. She's been at Heartland long enough to know that leaving isn't easy, especially when family ties are fraying. She notices how quiet Amy has become and feels torn. Should she stay and support her sister, or finally take the step toward her own dreams? This emotional pull between staying and moving on echoes through the entire episode. As for Nathan, his struggle deepens. He's trapped between two worlds: loyalty to his family's ranch and his growing love for Amy. When his sister reminds him of their father's dying wish to protect their land, Nathan feels crushed under guilt. How can he choose between love and legacy? The trailer shows a glimpse of him standing by the corral, clutching an old photograph, his eyes full of conflict. The background music fades to silence, leaving only the sound of wind, a moment heavy with unspoken emotion, but the biggest twist comes near the end of the trailer. Amy is shown walking into the barn late at night, holding something in her hand, a small, folded letter. She opens it slowly, and her expression changes from confusion to shock. We don't see what's written inside, but her whispered words give us a clue. It can't be true. The screen cuts to black before revealing the episode title: Fortitude. That single word says it all. Episode 7 will be about strength. Not just physical or emotional, but the kind that comes when you're forced to face the truth, no matter how painful it is. Amy will have to decide whether love is worth fighting for, or whether some battles simply can't be won. And as the trailer suggests, her choice will affect not only her heart, but the entire Heartland family. This is just the beginning of the storm. The calm before the truth breaks through. The tension that began in Episode 7's trailer deepens as the story moves forward. That mysterious letter Amy found in the barn isn't just a message. It's a revelation that shakes her trust in Nathan completely. At first, she tries to convince herself it's all a mistake, maybe another one of Gracie's tricks. But when she confronts Nathan, his silence says more than any words could. He doesn't deny it right away. He just looks away, torn between guilt and fear, and that single hesitation becomes enough for Amy to doubt everything she thought she knew about him. Later that night, Amy turns to Jack for guidance. Sitting by the fireplace, she quietly hands him the letter. Jack reads it slowly, his face hardening with each line. When he finally looks up, he doesn't speak right away. He simply sighs and says, "Sometimes the truth doesn't break us. It just shows us who's really standing with us." Amy knows he's right, but she also knows this truth could end whatever future she imagined with Nathan. Meanwhile, Nathan faces his own inner war. The letter wasn't supposed to reach Amy. It was something he kept hidden for years, a remnant of a deal his father made with investors before his death. Those investors? The same people now backing Gracie's efforts to control Heartland's sponsorships. It turns out Nathan's family owes them more than just loyalty. They owe them money. And if Nathan refuses to cooperate, he could lose everything. For him, love has become a luxury he can't afford. Episode 7 takes this emotional chaos and turns it into a storm of choices. The trailer shows flashes of Nathan driving through the night, gripping the steering wheel tightly, his eyes full of conflict. He wants to explain things to Amy, but how do you tell the person you love that your family's survival depends on betraying hers? His silence becomes a weapon, pushing Amy further away even though his heart aches for her. At Heartland, Lou senses that something terrible is about to unfold. She overhears a tense conversation between Nathan and one of Gracie's business partners at Maggie's diner. They speak in low tones, but Lou catches enough to know that Amy's heart is about to be broken again. This time, she decides not to stay silent. When she returns home, she finds Amy in the barn, grooming Spartan, her face calm, but her eyes red. Lou places her hand on Amy's shoulder and simply says, "Don't let his choices define yours." For the first time in a long while, the sisters seem united, not by joy, but by the quiet strength that comes from surviving heartbreak together. But just when it feels like the dust might settle, another unexpected figure steps into the light: Dex. After being kicked out by Jack in the previous episode, Dex returns with a new sense of purpose. He tells Jack he wants to earn his place back, to prove that he's not the reckless boy everyone thinks he is. Jack, still cautious, gives him a chance, but on one condition: no distractions. That promise is quickly tested when Katie joins him in the stables, offering to help him with his work. Their banter, their laughter, it's innocent, yet there's something more. As they work together, their chemistry becomes impossible to ignore. While Dex and Katie's growing bond brings a glimmer of warmth to the story, the overall tone remains heavy. Every smile feels temporary. Every peaceful moment on the ranch feels borrowed. The air around Heartland carries secrets, the kind that can't stay hidden forever. And as night falls again, Amy stands outside, staring at the distant lights of Nathan's ranch. In her hand, she still holds the letter, crumpled now, but unreadable to anyone else. Then, the trailer cuts to one final scene. A quiet barn, the sound of hooves echoing softly, and Amy's voice whispering, "If I can't trust him, what am I fighting for?" The answer to that question will shape not only Amy's future, but the very soul of Heartland itself. Episode 7 begins to hit its emotional peak as everything Amy tried to hold together begins to fall apart. The silence between her and Nathan grows heavier than words ever could. The letter she found has turned into a shadow following her everywhere. In the barn, in the house, even in her dreams. Every time she looks at Nathan now, she sees questions instead of comfort. But what hurts most isn't the betrayal itself, it's the doubt. The fear that maybe, just maybe, she never truly knew him at all. Nathan, too, is unraveling under the pressure. He knows he's made mistakes, but the truth is far more complicated than anyone realizes. His sister Gracie is threatening to expose the full extent of their family's debts if he refuses to side with her. That means Heartland, Amy's home, could be dragged into the chaos. He believes staying away from Amy is the only way to protect her, but his silence only convinces her that he doesn't care. The trailer gives us a glimpse of this emotional distance. Amy standing by the fence, watching Nathan ride away without looking back. The image speaks volumes. Meanwhile, Jack becomes the voice of reason once again. He can sense the pain Amy is carrying, but he also knows that pushing her to talk won't help. Instead, he gives her quiet wisdom, reminding her that strength isn't about fighting every battle, but knowing which ones are worth fighting for. Amy listens but doesn't answer. Her heart is torn between the girl she used to be, the one who believed in fairy tale love, and the woman she's become, who knows that love sometimes breaks before it heals. At the same time, Lou begins preparing to leave for her new project. Her bags are packed, but her heart isn't ready. She walks through the ranch one last time, touching the old fences, the kitchen table, the photo frames, memories of every triumph and heartbreak this land has witnessed. She stops by Amy's room and leaves a small note on the dresser. "Home will always wait for you." It's her way of reminding Amy that even if life pulls them in different directions, their bond as sisters will always remain. But the most shocking part of Episode 7's trailer comes next. Amy receives a visit from a stranger, a man claiming to be one of her late husband Ty's former colleagues from his vet days. He brings her a message Ty had written long ago, something he never got the chance to send. In it, Ty talks about courage, about choosing what's right even when it hurts. As Amy reads those words, her eyes fill with tears. It's as if Ty's spirit is reminding her to listen to her heart again. The timing couldn't be more painful. A ghost from her past returning just as her present begins to fall apart. Across the ranch, Nathan reaches his own breaking point. He argues with Gracie for the first time, shouting that he won't let her destroy what he's built with Amy. Gracie laughs coldly, warning him that love won't pay the bills or save their father's legacy. The fight ends with Nathan storming out, his face a mix of anger and regret. For the first time, he realizes that protecting his family may cost him the only person who ever truly believed in him. As night falls, Amy takes Spartan for a long ride through the open fields, something she hasn't done alone in months. The wind rushes past her, carrying whispers of her past and echoes of her pain. She doesn't cry. She doesn't shout. She just rides until the stars fill the sky, as if trying to escape the weight of everything pressing on her heart. When she finally stops, she looks up at the stars and softly says, "I can't lose myself again." The trailer fades to black with one haunting image. Nathan standing outside Heartland's gate, his eyes full of sorrow, while Amy watches him from the porch. Neither moves, neither speaks. The distance between them says everything. Episode 7 promises to be the turning point of the entire season, where love meets truth and choices made in silence echo louder than words. The peace of Heartland is about to be shattered, and when it does, no one will leave unchanged. As Episode 7 unfolds, the calm surface of Heartland finally cracks open. Every secret, every silence, every suppressed emotion begins to erupt. Not with violence, but with the quiet kind of heartbreak that hurts deeper than words. The letter, Nathan's guilt, Amy's doubts, they all collide in one storm that no one can outrun. The episode begins with Amy trying to return to her routine, training horses and helping clients, but she's not the same. Even Spartan senses her restlessness. Every sound, every distant memory of laughter feels heavier now. Jack, ever observant, tries to reach her, but Amy avoids him. She's determined to stay strong, to act like everything's fine. Yet her eyes betray her. They hold that familiar flicker of pain that only loss can bring. Meanwhile, Nathan disappears for a while. No one knows where he's gone, not even Gracie. The ranching community begins to whisper, and Amy hears fragments of gossip at Maggie's diner, that Nathan might have left town to negotiate a deal that could cost Heartland everything. Though no one knows the full truth, rumors spread fast in Hudson, and each one cuts Amy a little deeper. She wants to believe that Nathan is better than that his silence means he's trying to fix things, not destroy them. But doubt has a way of turning even love into fear. In one of the episode's most powerful scenes, Amy confronts Gracie at the local fairgrounds. She demands answers, her voice steady but trembling underneath. Gracie, cold as ever, smirks and says, "You think you know him, but he's still his father's son. Legacy doesn't die that easily." Amy stands frozen as Gracie walks away, her words echoing like thunder. That single line changes everything. Amy realizes this battle isn't just about love, it's about history repeating itself. The sins of the past are still shaping the present. While Amy wrestles with the truth, Lou calls from the city. Her voice brings warmth, but also distance. She asks Amy if she's okay, but Amy's answer is quiet. "I don't know anymore." Lou tells her that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let go. Not because you've stopped caring, but because holding on is destroying you. The call ends with silence, and Amy breaks down for the first time in a long time. She cries not out of weakness, but out of exhaustion, the kind that comes when you've been strong for too long. Back at Heartland, Dex and Katie continue to bond, bringing a faint light to an otherwise heavy episode. Dex confides in Katie about his fears of failing, of not being enough. Katie, still learning who she is, reminds him that failure isn't the end. It's just another chance to start again. Their small conversation feels like a reflection of everything Amy is going through, a subtle reminder that life goes on even when hearts break. Then, just when Amy thinks she's reached her lowest point, Nathan finally returns. It's late evening, and the light is fading over the ranch. She sees his truck pull up, and for a moment, hope flickers. But the look on his face extinguishes it instantly. He steps out, weary and distant, his clothes covered in dust from the road. He tells her the truth at last, that the investors who helped save his family's ranch years ago were the same ones trying to take control of Heartland now. He admits he'd been working behind the scenes to stop them, not realizing how deeply it would hurt her. Amy listens, but her face remains unreadable. Part of her wants to believe him. Another part feels too broken to try. When Nathan reaches for her hand, she steps back. The pain in her eyes says it all. Love is still there, but trust is gone. She whispers, "You should have told me before it got this far." Nathan nods, unable to speak. His silence feels like the final confession. The episode's trailer ends on that heart-wrenching moment. Amy walking away from him as the wind blows across the fields, her silhouette fading against the sunset. Nathan stays behind, his voice breaking as he calls her name, but she doesn't turn back. The camera lingers on the ranch, quiet and lonely, as the theme music fades into a single haunting note. Episode 7 will leave fans speechless. It's not just another chapter in Amy's journey. It's a test of everything she's learned about love, forgiveness, and strength. The storm has passed, but what remains will determine whether Heartland can ever feel like home again. Would you like me to continue with Section 5, 3,500 characters, the final and most emotional conclusion, in the same tone? You said Section 5, 3,500 characters. ChatGPT said Section 5, the aftermath of truth, 3,500 characters. The storm has finally broken, but the silence that follows is even heavier. Episode 7 closes with a quiet unease settling over Heartland, the kind that comes when everyone knows things will never be the same again. Amy goes through the motions of her daily routine, but she's not truly there. Her heart feels empty, her mind lost somewhere between what was and what could have been. Nathan's confession still echoes in her thoughts. Every word he said was true, but it came too late. Love, she realizes, doesn't survive on apologies. It survives on trust, and theirs has already shattered. Jack watches Amy from a distance as she works in the barn, brushing Spartan's mane slowly, almost absent-mindedly. He knows this look. He's seen it before, years ago, when Ty first left for Mongolia. It's that same kind of quiet heartbreak, the kind you can't talk your way out of. He approaches her gently, handing her a mug of coffee. "You did the right thing," he says softly, but Amy only nods. Deep down, she isn't sure if there was a right thing to do. She feels caught between holding on and letting go, torn between the past she can't return to and a future she's too afraid to imagine. Meanwhile, Nathan faces the consequences of his choices. His ranch is under investigation, his investors have turned against him, and his sister Gracie has disappeared without a trace. He stands in the empty barn of his family home, realizing that all his sacrifices may have been for nothing. The life he was trying to protect has crumbled in his hands. In a haunting moment from the trailer, he looks at an old photograph of his father and mutters, "Was it worth it?" His voice breaks as he realizes that, in trying to honor his family's legacy, he's lost the one person who made his life worth living. Back at Heartland, Lou returns unexpectedly. She couldn't stay away. Not when she knew her sister was hurting. When she arrives, she finds Amy in the paddock, standing alone with Spartan. The two sisters don't need words. Lou walks up beside her, and for a long moment, they simply stand together, watching the horses run freely across the field. It's a quiet, powerful image. Two women who've faced loss, change, and heartbreak, but still find strength in the land they love. Lou finally breaks the silence. "Maybe this is where you start again." Amy exhales slowly, the weight in her chest lifting just a little. At the same time, a lighter story begins to blossom in the background. Dex and Katie's growing connection. Jack notices how much more responsible Dex has become since his return, and how Katie's confidence has grown alongside him. The two of them work hard to earn Jack's trust again, and slowly he begins to soften. Their partnership reminds everyone at Heartland that life keeps moving forward. Even in the shadow of heartbreak, new beginnings quietly take root. As night falls, Amy visits Ty's memorial spot near the hill. She kneels beside the wooden plaque, her voice trembling as she whispers, "I tried, Ty. I really tried." She closes her eyes and lets the tears fall, not out of despair, but release. When she finally stands, there's a quiet resolve in her expression. She looks toward the lights of Nathan's ranch in the distance and softly says, "Some things have to end for new things to grow." The episode's trailer ends with a shot of Amy riding Spartan across the open field at dawn, alone, but not broken. The wind lifts her hair, the horizon stretches endlessly, and the music swells with both sadness and hope. It's not a scene of loss. It's a scene of transformation. The Amy Fleming who once waited for love to save her has learned that sometimes you have to save yourself first. Episode 7, titled Fortitude, isn't about happy endings. It's about courage. The courage to face the truth, the strength to walk away, and the heart to begin again. It leaves fans questioning what's next for Amy and Nathan, but one thing is certain. This episode marks the start of a new era in Heartland's story. The land still stands, the family still holds together, and Amy is stronger than ever, steps forward into whatever comes next. The storm may have changed everything. But as the final frame fades to black, one message remains clear. Heartland isn't just a place, it's a promise. That no matter how many times life breaks you, there will always be a reason to heal again. Heartland Season 19, Episode 7, Fortitude, will be remembered as the episode that changed everything. It's not just another emotional chapter, it's the turning point where every character is forced to confront what truly matters. Amy stands at the edge of heartbreak, Nathan at the crossroads of loyalty and love, and the rest of the Heartland family learning once again that strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from surviving it. For years, fans have watched Amy grow from a young girl healing horses into a woman healing hearts, including her own. But this time, her strength feels different. It's not about holding on to what's slipping away, it's about letting go with grace. When she walks away from Nathan in that final moment, it's not defeat. It's a declaration that she's finally choosing herself. And that's what makes this episode so powerful. It's raw, it's painful, but it's real. Meanwhile, Nathan's downfall reminds us that love and legacy don't always live in the same world. His silence, his guilt, and his final attempt to make things right show a man caught between duty and emotion, a conflict that has broken many before him. Fans may feel divided about him, but one thing is clear, Nathan's story is far from over. Every ending in Heartland has always led to a new beginning. Then there's Dex and Katie, the spark of hope in the middle of all the chaos. Their growing bond feels like a glimpse of Heartland's future, a promise that even as one love story fades, another begins to bloom. They carry the same fire Amy and Ty once had, young, uncertain, but full of heart. It's that balance of heartbreak and hope that keeps Heartland alive, season after season. Episode 7 doesn't give us easy answers. It leaves us wondering what comes next. Will Amy find peace after all she's endured? Will Nathan fight to earn her trust back? Or is this truly the end of their chapter together? The trailer leaves those questions hanging in the air, where only time and courage will decide the answers. As the screen fades to black, one thing becomes clear. Heartland has always been more than a ranch, more than a show. It's a reflection of life itself, full of love, loss, lessons, and the strength to keep going. And just like Amy, maybe that's what we all need to remember. That even after the hardest storms, the sun still rises over Heartland. For more weekly updates, deep analysis, and emotional breakdowns of Heartland Season 19, don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow this channel, because the story isn't over yet, and the next chapter might just be the most powerful one of all.